Right. And worries, the worry that people won't like you if you speak up for yourself. They won't like you if you say no to an inconvenient or inappropriate request. Well, you know, being liked and being respected are not mutually exclusive. You can be liked and respected. And that's also liberating when you start to realize that as well. You and I are both on LinkedIn, and there's quite a few influencers, people who run billion-dollar companies, Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, and many others. And they often do videos. So they employ thousands and thousands of people. And they talk about taking the best people with them to the top and what leadership is. And they often make it very clear that they don't want to be surrounded by yes men and women. They do not respect the yes women or the yes men. They want to hear dissenting views. They don't need to hear what they want to hear. They don't need to hear their ideas parroted back to them. They want to hear other ideas, other opinions, even if those views are not in agreement with theirs. And now they may not agree with you after all is said and done, but they all say they respect the hell out of the person that has the assertiveness and the gumption to speak up. So think about that.
So basically, if you have to choose,
err on the side of assertiveness.
Of the respect, not the likability. Right. That's going to get you ahead. That's going to make you feel liberated. And right. if you're dealing with somebody, what that also teaches, if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't respect you, but wants to like you, but if you act assertively, they dislike you, then maybe that's not somebody that you want to really hang out with. That's maybe you need to revisit your circle at work or or friends, because that's not somebody that you want around you.
Absolutely. And I would have to say, let's get rid of the no criticism, none whatsoever, but let's get rid of that qualifier. Maybe you need to read, not maybe.
That's right. That's right.
I was listening.
Very good.
You need to visit your circle. These are not people who are healthy to surround yourself with. That's the bottom line. They liked you when you were passive. They liked you when you did their bidding. And again, this is not healthy for you. But like Ivna just said, so if you have to choose between speaking up when you want to, remember, not something else I like to say is not everything that triggers you deserves a response. Sometimes the most assertive reaction is none at all, is to be able to turn your back on the individual, not even dignify what they said or what they did with a response. And that's okay too. My point is, though, it's a choice. If you choose not to respond, that's being assertive. If you fail to respond when you really want to, that's not being assertive. That's denying yourself as a person. Say there is no difference. Assertiveness is being polite and being respectful. If a male is polite and respectful and assertive, great. And a female is polite and respectful and assertive, great. There should be no difference. Unfortunately, it's people's perceptions. It's a man can say, unfortunately, no, I must decline your request. I've got too much on my plate. Thanks very much for asking. Okay. And the person will respect that. A woman says, no, I must decline your request. I have a lot on my plate. Thanks so much for asking. And she'll get, well, you're not being very cooperative, are you? Or I was really counting on your support. Or why are you so aggressive? Hello. And if I didn't have confidence in myself, I would start to believe that maybe I was being uncooperative, or I was being aggressive. But so there is no difference, but it's the way others like to react to it, which makes us believe there is. What do you think about that, Edna? I respect your views. I know you're interviewing me. I don't mean to turn this, but I respect you have to say so much.
Yeah, no, I do believe there's a difference. And I wonder if sometimes when a woman who is passive or who behaves or is known to be passive wants to change to assertive, and I think it's a little bit different when a man wants to change to assertive. So there's obviously they can talk to people and explain that they're changing their behaviors so that people know what to expect when this change happens, and some people are not going to like it. Right. I think it works. It's a little bit easier in personal relationships than in professional ones.
I'm sorry. It takes people by surprise when all
does.
Okay. When all of a sudden you start to change, it can take people by surprise and they'll overreact. But guess what? They'll get used to the new you.
They get used to it.
New you. So that's a great point, Edna. So be prepared for that reaction as well. Not necessarily being confronted in a negative way because they liked you better submissive. They might react with surprise because it's a side of you they haven't seen before. So just be prepared for that. You can't avoid it.
And knowing that if somebody, going back to your previous point, if somebody does react negatively, it doesn't mean they don't like you. Just because somebody seemed that they're upset, it doesn't mean they started to dislike you forever and they're never going to want to talk to you again. They don't want to be around you. They're not going to love you. It just means if they're upset, they'll get used to it. But it's like in that moment, they're frustrated, and just let them deal with it. It'll pass. Just like you get frustrated and it passes.
Exactly. It will. And if it doesn't, then they're part of the circle that Edna talked about before, where maybe you want to try to choose a different circle or cull your circle. Be a bit more discriminating about who you keep inside of it. But very often it will pass. They're just taken by surprise and they need some time to process. Like I said, the new improved you.
You improved you. And if there's, and I think that's definitely something that helps as well, is if people do want to learn to be more assertive, and what a great way of doing that is surrounding themselves with more assertive people. So just learn by osmosis a little bit.
You could just Google me, Paulette Dale, and plenty of stuff will come up. And if you Google Paulette Dale Trump, you will see the videos of me telling the President of the United States he has a great smile and telling him he's handsome in front of 14 million people on national TV. Of course, I have an extensive LinkedIn profile, so please connect with me. My connections know that I will always respond. I'm always honored to be contacted by anyone and to answer your questions. So what I'd like to leave you with is one of my favorite mantras, which has to do with comfort zones. And it's steps so far outside of your comfort zone that you have trouble finding your way back.
Love that. Well, never heard of that before.
That's so amazing. With that, do you think of any other questions for me, Edna?
No, I think you have great stories in your book, and I recommend everyone to check out her book, because it really is not only, it will upskill you, right? If you're looking for that communication skill that's going to get you the respect, her book is definitely going to do that. And it's also just so full of stories that will really show you and illustrate how this can be applied to every facet of your life. So it's really worth.
And my email is in the book. So please email me with any questions or comments. If you would like further clarification on any points I've made, I'm here for you. Always.
By the way, this book is also great for men. It's it says it's for women. Most of the examples are women, but the techniques also apply for men. So I thank you so much, Paulette. I really, really enjoyed this. And
it was a joy to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I guess we can stay in touch more.
I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivna.